France is now going to collect taxes from the citizens of Nigeria. If you are a Nigerian citizen living and working in Nigeria, you are now going to pay taxes to France because that is what your government signed, and your data might also be going to France as well. The first time I saw this news, I said, I ain't no way, boy. Let me go and do a research myself to give it to you guys, those who are following my this page. So the government of Nigeria and France, they have signed a tax cooperation agreement. Now, one of these agreement is this, that France is going to help Nigeria, when it comes to tax collecting by using a better system, using AI and some automated systems in order to collect taxes from the citizens of Nigeria. But now, one of these agreements that stood out the most to me personally is that the data sharing. Let me read these ones for you if you are a Nigerian. Is it, while no raw individual taxpayer files will leave Nigeria, the agreement does not involve sharing sensitive aggregated economic data and insight, example patterns from the digital economy, to cooperate approaches and adopt international best practices. This has led to some public data debate regarding data sovereignty. So which means that based on this data sharing, if you are a Nigerian citizen living in Nigeria paying taxes, once the government is trying to collect taxes from you or you pay taxes, your information is there, your telephone number, your date of birth, your passport numbers, your documents, where you also live. So this data is going to be shared with France. And I am quite sure that France is never going to share their data with the government of Nigeria. So this one right here, just make me scared. Why will Bola Ahmed Tinubu or the government of Nigeria share such things when it comes to the information, the data, about your citizens? So now what stood out the most to me also personally is that the tax collection by France also, or no tax collection by France. Let me read the following for you. Nigeria retains full control and sovereignty over its tax system, data and policy directions. The Nigerian government, through the NRS, will continue to be the sole entity responsible for collecting taxes within Nigeria. Okay, here they say that, Nigerian government is only going to be the one to collect taxes from the citizens of Nigeria. But this is just for now. Now, when time goes or somewhere down in the future, do you think that, it is only the government of Nigeria which is going to be collecting taxes from the citizens of Nigeria? I don't think so. Because of why? All of this tax money, something is basically going to be paid to Paris. This is how it is basically going to be started up to a point that whereby France will also be collecting taxes from Nigeria. Remember why France is not in Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger? Because France does not want to be equal with Africans. They only want to be slave masters. This is what we should know, and this is just the truth. That's why France is being kicked out of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger. Now, when it comes to something like this, why will the government of Nigeria share this information with France? When Mali says no, Burkina Faso said no, Niger says no. Why Nigeria? Why is France using Bola Ahmed Tinubu to go and bomb other African countries? Anyway, it means that for now, your taxes are only going to be collected by the government of Nigeria. But in the future, no one can tell you 100% that you are not going to pay taxes to the government of France if you are a Nigerian citizen. But comment below, please.
If they are coming here for the purpose of our tax reform and all that, are you not going to provide them with all they need to work? And when you are providing it, are you not giving some information away? Look, these people, they think they are very clever. In Sokoro, they think they are very clever, and it's very annoying. When your government will be treating you as if you are a zombie, you don't know anything. Where is the standard practice? When some people are telling you that in other countries where they practice this thing, it collapsed, it didn't work, yet you want to go and try it. So, of all the people we have in Nigeria, all the tax experts, none of them could do this except France, Abi. No, except France will do it, Abi.
Exactly my point. Why can't we build the system? Why can't we build that infrastructure to collect it ourselves?
I mean, what is there in the first place? What is there? I have told somebody there.
We have IT firms that can do all of this.
That can do Nigerians,
but there are a lot of them.
A lot of them that can do all of this. So why France in particular?
This what is this data system that was collecting revenue for government? This
remitter.
Good. You saw the expert job they have done. You saw the expert job remitter have been doing for government in this country. What is wrong with it? They don't want to impose another one on it. We don't like success in this country, seriously. We don't like success. Every successful story, the government will try to kill it. Remita, have anybody come with any complaint against Remita? Since they have been working under Buhari and all that. It was Jonathan that created that thing. Now, all of a sudden, they are no longer good for us.
Yes, treasury singular.
I am telling you, all these things are there. Nobody has faulted it, but somebody want to bring his own that will not benefit him. Benefit him. You are working with France. Meanwhile, we know your relationship with France. Whenever any government,
you say when we say we, who are the
Nigerians now? Is it not your money? The tax is it government?
No, I mean, you say his relationship with France.
Are you not seeing when he was going there for almost everything? Are you not going?
You know the relationship. I don't know.
Why can't you visit America?
Government says it is doing so under the new Nigeria Tax Administration Act 2025 to buoy the country's foreign exchange base and increase government's source of revenue. That is why in that act, Section 4, Sub 2 is clear on what you must do as a taxable Nigerian citizen to get your tax identification number called TIN, working together with your national identification number NIN. In my last video, I particularly addressed Nigerians who desired and will still desire to own a vehicle or who already own one and will either want to renew their documents and renew their driver's license or secure new ones on what the law demands. Some persons came to say it was lie, though they never posted what was the truth in quotation open and close. Some said, oh, what's the section? That's why tonight I shall be discussing on TikTok Live Section 4 Sub 2, where all of these have been outlined. In doing that, I will join it with Section 38, where if you are an influencer online, all this while all the money you made belong to you, government says no more, you must pay tax. You're a social media influencer, a digital content creator, you earn money through crypto trading, either Bitcoin or Ethereum or Pi, or you are a virtual card holder, you will pay your money in that same digital currency. If you are paid through Google AdSense or Google AdMob, okay, you are paid in pounds, euro, or dollar, you are going to be taxed in that currency of your receipt. That's why I want you to follow us here. We shall let Nigerians understand the new tax law, not for you to be caught on the side of the law. Join me now as I go live. Thank you.
What will happen from January next year? A person who earns 3 million naira a month will see some marginal increases, maybe like 10K. It's not a lot of money per month. I know it's hard to even part with an additional 10K. If you earn 10 million naira per month, your additional tax would increase. You might get to 500K a month. If you earn 20 million naira, and so on and so forth. But before you can even get to 25% of your income as tax, you must be earning at least 120 million naira a year. There's also another objective of economic growth. We're very clear from day one, and that remains the case up until now, that the fastest and the most sustainable way to generate revenue is to allow the economy to grow. If I'm unemployed, you can have the best personal income tax law. Your tax authority can be the most efficient in the world. You can't collect personal income tax from me because I am unemployed. If you'd like me to pay personal income tax, let's start our conversation with how do I get a job? Or better still, how do I become...
The government of this country has never been accountable, and I'm not being a mindless critic. Where is the money that was recovered from fuel subsidy? Can any of us in this studio tell me today how much we have gotten from fuel subsidy removal? So this is a government that is not accountable. It's like you are flogging a dead horse. And then you ask the question, I think this is important to our viewers. So someone who earns 10,000 naira, When the deductions are done, the first 800,000 that is tax-free, the remaining money with you, you are going to pay 15%. And like they usually would say that you are going to pay less. The former personal income tax scale was between 7 to 21%. But now you are going to pay 15%. 15% of 2.9 million, your annual income, is not a joke to the Nigerian of today. Especially a Nigerian that provides everything for his or herself. You provide everything for yourself and your family. To answer your question so that I don't derail too much, the government must show goodwill. Account for custom and excise duties money. Account for the VAT they are already collecting, the money they collect from beer and all the other things. Account for the money that we get from exploration and exportation of oil. As we speak, Saudi Arabia, that is doing figures that we cannot imagine, can tell every single barrel of oil that leaves his country. Our country cannot account for the amount of oil leaving our shores on a daily basis. Big ships come here and take oil, and they will convince you and I that it is crude oil theft. Big ship, as if oil is sweet that you can put in your pocket. I will conclude this your question by saying, if the government is not showing goodwill, if the government is not being honest, people cannot trust them. My brother said the money goes to the governor. It is President Tinubu that signed the tax law. I have never seen where a person will sign a law that does not favor him or her. There is a sharing formula to it, and this present presidency will benefit from it as much as the governor. And I am not only here talking about the presidency. Our governors are also equally as culpable. We have governors who do not account to anyone. We have state house of assembly that cannot do oversight. We have state house of assembly that are mere rubber stamp. And it has now elevated even to a national level. There is nothing that goes to the national assembly now that is not passed. Is it that kind of country that you want me to entrust my money to the government? And I'll conclude this by talking to the Nigerian people. No matter how much we advocate here, it is law. Except something happens, the laws are meant for human beings. Except the human beings who these laws are meant for reject it. In January, we are all going to pay tax. You that is pretending not to be interested in politics. 93 million people were registered to vote in the last election. 93 million. Only 23 million voted. The other 70 million can neither explain to me and you why they were not part of the process that elected the leaders that want to take taxes now. In 2027, will you vote or will you not vote? I leave that question to the average Nigerian who think he or she is too important to vote when you start paying your tax next year.
Welcome back to the channel. So we've heard what those people have to say, and no matter how we want to sugarcoat this whole thing, this is just another clear case of Nigeria opening its doors wide enough to foreign powers to decide how their country should be run. Now, at a time when African countries like Burkina Faso, Mali, Niger, even Ghana are openly rejecting French influence and telling them to leave, Nigeria is doing the opposite. Even Ghana is careful about how much foreign interference it allows in its internal systems. But why Nigeria? Why is Nigeria proudly inviting France to sit inside their tax system? One of the most sensitive parts of any nation. Taxes are not just numbers. They are about control, priorities, and power. Once you hand that over, even for advice, you're already losing ground. Tinubu's government, they keep saying Nigeria needs foreign expertise, but the question is simple. Don't we have Nigerians that understand our economy? Don't we have tax experts, also all these economists and policy thinkers in this country? Or is the government saying Nigerians are not smart enough to fix Nigerian problems? This mindset is actually a very big problem, because every time you run to foreign countries, especially former colonial powers like France, you are sending a message that you and your people cannot even stand on your own. And I don't think France is helping Nigeria for free. I don't think any country does. There is always an interest. Now, access to data, influence over policy, long-term control, and leverage. Allowing France to be part of Nigeria's tax reform means giving them insights into how money flows in this country. And I feel that's dangerous. Today it might look like support, but tomorrow it's pressure and conditions that we did not vote for. And what makes this even worse is the timing. A lot of Nigerians are already struggling with high taxes, rising prices, and a collapsing standard of living. And instead of fixing corruption, waste, and looting, which is happening at the top, the government is focusing on tax reform that may squeeze ordinary people even more. And now France is in the room while Nigerians suffer outside. African countries are waking up and pushing foreign powers out. And I think Nigeria should be leading that conversation, not embarrassing itself by signing an MOU that invites more interference. Tinubu is not helping Nigeria at this point because he had a chance to prove independence and confidence in Nigerian capacity, but he's choosing foreign approval over his national pride. Well, what's the take on this? Do let me know in the comment section. And if today is the first time coming across my channel, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.